Hey guys, producer Millian here, coming at ya. How you doing? Now I haven't spoken to you since New Year's Eve, when I just dropped in to say a quick hello and to do Happy New Year for you guys. And before that, it was about 6 months since I put out a video. And the reason is because, well, I've been so busy with work, which I'm not complaining about. But I've really been wanting to do videos. I've been really wanting to do some of these vlogs to get to know you guys and to bring you some content from a little different angle than you're most likely going to hear from people. Now, I have my notes right here, so if you see me poking and looking down, that's why I got my little tablet right there. And the main thing about my vlog is I just want to be real with you. I just want to talk from the heart and just be myself. Now, I'm a voiceover artist, in case you haven't picked up on that. There's my whisper room. I sit in there. It's a 3x5 box I sit in all day. Beautiful microphone, wonderful lighting. You gotta love it. One day I'll do a tour of it. So, I'm a voiceover artist, and I spend 8 to 10 hours a day talking. So why I want to talk for a vlog, who knows, I just do. Because I guess I really have an appreciation for it. I see like these daily vloggers and I have no clue how you guys do it. So if you are one of those people, yeah, my hat's off to you. You really do a good job. But it is March. It's beginning of March 2016 when I'm doing this video. And in June, I'm going to be 40 years old. And you know what? I love it. Now, I look good, don't I, say? Yes, I look nice and young. And what happens is, I always remember growing up when people would say, you know, I just don't care about stuff. I don't give a blank anymore. And I never understood that. But now that I'm coming up on 40, now I get it. Because I'm getting to an age now where I kind of don't care anymore. It's wonderful. It's really liberating. And you know what? You start getting to a point where you just don't care about things that aren't important anymore. And that's sort of what I want to talk to you about today. I'm old for a vlogger because there's a lot of these like teenagers and college kids and young professionals in their 20s, you millenials. Yeah, you guys. And you guys are doing videos and you guys are amazing. You're putting out great content and, you know, it's really just cool what you do. You inspire me. And, you know, I'm old for a vlogger, but they say that, you know, if you're yourself, who cares? So I'm just going to be myself if that's okay with you. And what I want to do with this vlog is I want to sort of give you business advice from someone who has crashed and burned in his age that you're probably at now, especially you youngins. And in my early 20s and mid 20s, I was trying all kind of crazy stuff. I was involved in all kind of different things. And I made so many mistakes that I crashed and burned. And I really want to share some stuff with you just to give you things to think about. You know what? And I could be totally wrong. And if I'm totally wrong and it doesn't work for you, that's cool too. I run my business on the model of what's called a solopreneur. And what that means is you're an entrepreneur and you basically cut everyone else out. I don't have anyone else on staff. I don't have a team. I don't have consultants, a coach. I do it all myself. Because you reach that point where you're in business and you say, you know what? I'm tired of waiting for everybody to get on board. I'm tired of trying to get everybody excited and build up everybody's enthusiasm and be a leader, and I don't want to do that. I don't write leadership books. I don't read leadership books. If you want to pay me, I'll read it on the air for you and make a nice audiobook for you. I'm your guy. But outside of that, I really don't care. Because you know what? I've decided that I'm going to do it my damn self. And I don't have a team to lead, so why would I read a book and spend a couple hours or however many days or weeks it would take and invest that time in something that I'm not technically going to use? That's what you call ROI, return on investment. And you're going to hear that when people spend money on advertising, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, whatever they're spending money on. They need to make sure that they're getting a return on whatever they're investing. Now that comes down to money. But what I'm talking about today is a return on your investment when I say your investment of time, okay? I have made so many mistakes in business, and much of it was a waste. And I can't tell you how many hours I spent trying to, at a computer, trying to research stuff that never went anywhere. Or that I tried to maybe put together and just wouldn't come together. Not for lack of trying, but just for a lot of other factors that just wouldn't make it happen. And I look back on this and I say, you know, much of it was a waste. When I started my business, it was around 2002. I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, which is where I'm currently located. And I was young and, you know, full of piss and vinegar and ready to do this. And I was in radio and I was, and the first thing I decided to do was go out and start a corporation. Now, granted, I didn't really have a business, didn't have a product, didn't have an income, no contacts, nothing. I don't even think I had a website at the time. Okay, it was around that time. And I said, you know, it's a good idea if I go start a corporation. Why? Because I just wanted the image. And I thought it would be cool, something just neat to have. And yes, I got a corporation. I can go to a bank and pay more fees. Looking back, I think to myself, what was I doing? What a waste that was at the time. And it was that issue of too much image, too much just showing off maybe, and not enough substance, not enough effort being put in to bootstrapping it or building up, as they would call it today. Everything you do has got to have an ROI, a return on investment. And, I'm going to tell you from this perspective, because you hear in the culture about all the baby boomers, baby boomers, baby boomers. Then on the other side, you hear millennials, millennials, millennials. And here's the thing. I'm Gen X. I'm the one caught in the middle of you two. I'm going to take it from Gen X. I'm your reality check for all you young people out there. Now, I like you guys because you're ambitious. You are upfront about a lot of stuff. You don't really tolerate crap, which is a good thing. And I want to give you a reality check. And I want to give you some examples of what I'm talking about here. I was something of a computer programmer back in the day. I used to like playing around with gaming and all that stuff. And this was before YouTube and all these fancy systems and games like they have today. And I used to teach in a college where I would teach web design. I was teaching web design and programming and some networking stuff. So I was a bit of a techie back in those days before 2002, before I moved here. And I remember that I would come across a computer programming language like Python or PHP or something like this. And I tell you, I would spend like 10 days straight. I wasn't married. I think there was a time I wasn't dating anyone. It was just me on my own. And I would spend 7, 10, 2 weeks, however many days it was, learning a programming language. I'd buy those big, thick books. It'd spend like $30. And that was a lot, compared to today, on these books like, the Python Bible or something like that. And you would go through, it's like 3,000 pages with just code and stuff. And I'd be messing around playing with that and thinking, hey, this would be cool. Maybe I could do something with this. But there was no end game to it. And looking back now, I haven't programmed a stitch of any of that stuff. Now, some things I still do websites for myself and my project. So I'm familiar with it, but I don't know the code inside out as I would if I were a straight up programmer. I'm familiar with it, so there was a little return on it, but not compared to the time I invested. Like some of those programming languages, I don't even remember half the ones I studied. I don't use them, never did, nothing ever came out of it. It was weeks of my life wasted on stuff. Okay? And $30 each of these books. And how many of these books hundreds and hundreds of dollars I've spent on books with material I never bothered with. And I don't know. I'm not really sure why I do it. It seemed like a good idea at the time is all I can tell you. One time, I went and learned Visual Basic over the course of about a week. And I'm going to admit something here to you. I'm not proud of it, but back in the day, I used to hack DirecTV. The little smart cards that go in the receiver before they did the big switch over, Black Friday, whatever they called it. I was part of that. I figured out in like a weekend or so how to code Visual Basic, how to rewrite that little smart card that's in there, unloop it whenever they would send a thing down, and then put it in the machine and unlock everything. Now you think, hey, that's pretty cool. Well, number one, it was stealing, which I'll tell you about that in a second. But number two, at this day and age, I don't even watch TV anymore. I'm too busy working. I'm raising a son. I have a family. I got stuff going on. I don't have time to sit and watch the crap that's on TV. I have Netflix. Netflix and YouTube is all I got, right? And I don't like what's on TV. It's garbage. And I look at it today, what good did that do me? Okay, so I got some free movies. I got some free pay-per-view. I got some free stuff I'd rather not talk about right now. And believe me, don't do that anymore. And all that stuff, I look back and say, yeah, it was cool, it was fun, but what did it do me today for the rest of my life? Today it's pointless. So what was the return on investment? It was very short, very minimal, and eventually, what I was going to tell you was, I remember one day, I got a letter in the mail, a very official letter in the mail, that basically said, we know what you're doing, we suggest you stop right now. Needless to say, I don't have any desire whatsoever to tangle with the federal government. So what I did was, I stopped doing it. And that was it. And you know what? I had to get rid of all my stuff. I threw it away, and it's a fun story to tell now. But what was the return on that investment? Not much by today's standards. Not much in the long term. And that's more what I'm getting at. Everything you do has to be deliberate. Everything you do has got to be with a purpose. Now, you can set yourself a box to operate in, and that's a cool when they say, oh, take it out of the box. No, you got to set some parameters for yourself. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have fun within a box and within parameters. And what else it does is it saves some of your thinking energy, your brain energy, your mental energy, whatever you want to call it. The more crap and the more like decisions that you can kind of preset for yourself, the more freedom you have to do funner things. So keep that in mind. And you know, one of the follies of youth, for all you young millennials out there, is that you think you can do it all, which you can for a time. True story. But eventually it does catch up with you. See, everything you do, you have to make sure that it has a purpose, it has a plan, even if it's something small. And everything's got to be a step forward in progress. Time that you have right now is the most limited resource out of everything you have. It's the one thing everyone's got an equal amount of. So you can talk about people having different amounts of money or different opportunities or whatever the case is. The equality among all mankind is how much time we all share together. And it's 24 hours in a given day. So what you got to do is you got to make sure that anything that you invest has some sort of outcome. Now, what I've done is I've structured it in such a way where I have very focused things that I do that yield a lot of stuff because I put out for myself, I guess, a chunk of free time where I get to play around and do whatever I want and waste time. I actually work harder in the time that I've set so that when I do have free time, I can mess around, watch YouTube videos, fart around on Twitter, whatever the case is. It's all by design. People say, well, you're wasting time. No, I'm not. I've budgeted for that time. I've made arrangements to have that time. So time planning, and I'm not going to give you some big fancy system like you see some of these vlogs. I'm not that smart. I'm not that good. I'm not that ambitious anymore, to be very blunt with you. All I'm going to do is give you principles. I'm going to give you concepts, and you got to run with it. I can't tell you what to do. But everything in this equal amount of time that you have, everything you do must have a return on investment, and your time is your biggest investment. So any dollar you spend should at least break even some. You go and spend $1 on something in your business, it should generate at least $1 back. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble. And let me tell you, on another vlog, I'll break that down. But everything you do, make sure that there's some kind of return off of it. Even if it's a slow burn over many years, cool. But it's got to have a return and it's got to be long term. And that's what I'm going to tell you today. Everything. There's never going to be a maybe when it comes to your ROI, whether it's your time, money, your life, your ambition, anything you're doing. Focus on those parameters, set the parameters out, lay everything out in front of you, have fun within that box, and make sure that everything you do has some kind of return on it. And I guarantee that you keep doing that, you keep working that out, down the line your business is going to flourish and you're going to look back on this and say, wow, that idiot was right. All right, guys, Millian here with you. If you ever need any voiceover work, audiobooks, scripts, YouTube voiceovers, video games, I'd love to do some of those. Hit me up, millian.com, and I'll see you next time here on the Producer Millian vlog, coming at you. Thanks, guys.